Okay, guys. So here's a couple examples of right angle triangles where we want to solve for the indicated side in each. So if I look at A here, I have triangle ABC. I'm missing side B. I don't know what it is. I have this side right here. That's side C because it's the side across from C. And this would be side A, lowercase a. So I have side C, which is 7. I don't have side A and I don't have side B. So I'm not going to be able to use Pythagorean theorem here because I only have one side length. However, I do have this angle right here. This angle is measured at 25 degrees. So what I can do is I can actually use my trig ratios, either sine, cos, or tan, to solve for this side length. The first step to solving for that side length is we have to choose whether we're going to use sine, cos, or tan. And if you remember SOHCAHTOA, that says sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, cos is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, and tan is the opposite over the adjacent. Which one do I need to use here? Well, if I'm thinking about 25 degrees as being my angle theta, 25 degrees is my angle, I have the side opposite to that angle. I have 7, which is opposite to 25 degrees. And the side I'm looking for is the hypotenuse of the triangle. And so I need to look at this mnemonic here, the SOHCAHTOA, and know that because I'm given the side opposite and I'm looking for the side that is the hypotenuse, I'm going to use sine here because sine deals with the opposite side and the hypotenuse. So I'm going to choose sine of my angle, 25. And now in this case, my angle is actually measured for me. It's not just theta in this case, right? It's actually 25. So I'm going to say, to draw out my sine ratio, I'm going to say the sine of 25 equals, and the ratio, of course, is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So the opposite is 7 in this case, because it's the side opposite to the angle. And the hypotenuse is B. I don't know what that side length is. So there's my variable that I'm solving for. B is my variable that I'm solving for. And so we've done questions like this where I have a number on one side of the equation and then I've got a fraction on the other. So, 2 over x. And we can actually solve this equation by writing 3 over 1 and cross multiplying and dividing. Do you remember that? And so what we're going to do here is we're going to write the sine of 25 over 1 because the sine of 25, guys, is just some number. What I'd like you to do is I'd actually like you to take out your calculator. So in your calculator, I want you to punch in the sine. Find the sine button. It's usually around the middle of the calculator. And then punch in 25 and then press enter or equals or whatever it is your calculator makes you do. The sine of 25 and then enter or equals. You should get an answer of 0.4226 and change, right? So that's the sine of 25. If you don't get that answer, you need to check to see if your calculator is in degree mode. And that's something that I can help you with. So if you need help with that, contact me on Google Hangouts and we'll talk about how to get it in degree mode. But if you punch in the sine of 25 and you get 0.4226 in your calculator and change, then you're in degree mode and you're good. So you see that the sine of 25 is just some number, and we can write any number over 1. So if we write the sine of 25 over 1, that mathematically still makes sense. And what I can do now, let me just change colors here. What I can do now is I can take this side of my equation and this side of my equation, and I can cross multiply and divide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 7 and I'm going to multiply by 1, and then I'm going to divide all of that by the sine of 25. And now you have to be very careful when you punch this into your calculator. Of course, the first step will be 7 times 1, which will be 7. But then you have to divide by the sine of 25. And everybody's calculator is a little bit different. Sometimes now you have to take 7 and divide by sine 25, like punch that in that order. 7 divided by sine 25, enter. But in some calculators, you have to find the sine of 25 first and then divide 7 by it. So you have to go sine 25 and then 7 divided by that number. At any rate, you have to figure out how your calculator works. And the answer that you should get when you divide that out, you should get an answer of 16.56 and change. So 5, 6, what is it? 3, 4, 1, 1, and so on. So if you get that answer, 16.56 and change, then great. We can round that answer. If it asked us to round to the nearest tenth, we would have 16.6. And we don't have a unit. Our original 7 here wasn't in a unit. So that's the answer. That is the side length of B. B is 16.6 units long. Now, there's a couple of steps in there, guys, that, unless I'm with you directly explaining how to do it on your calculator, you're going to have to figure that out. But these are the answers that you need to get, 16.56 and here 0.4226. You need to get those answers. And if you don't, then call me, let me know, and I can tell you how to get there. Okay?